Our vision is to enable the regenerative agriculture through seaweed. So sustainable aquaculture for sustainable agriculture. And what we would love to do is to have more and more and more people involved.
I thought I wanted to do something in the real world where we actually make something, and then seaweed has the potential to really contribute to improve the climate.
We had no intention of actually living up here. That changed quite quickly.
Hi and welcome to the SohoLIFF Spotlights. I'm Farahadi and I am joined today by the very talented Sigrid Sortland. And she has got the most incredible film called Seas of Change, which we are very honoured to be screening at the next SohoLIFF. So Sigrid, congratulations on your film.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, such a pleasure. So for everybody watching, could you, without giving any spoilers, just talk a little bit about what the film's about?
So very short, the film is about 5 young innovators who have moved to an island up in northern Norway to farm kelp, and it's just about their lives and what they do and their inspiration, and yeah. And
it's fabulous. So it's a documentary.
Yeah, it's a short documentary.
A short documentary. And how did you come across this story?
So I studied nursing in Norway. I did a bachelor in nursing. And so I met Christopher, one of the co-founders, during my undergraduate there. So we were sort of friends, and we would celebrate like the National Day together. We had mutual friends, and so we followed each other on socials, and he went on to go to the entrepreneur school and did a master there, and started this with Herman, the CEO. And so I just followed them on social media, and I found what they were doing really interesting, and kind of just like, I've always thought that, you know, what they're doing is inspirational, and that they've just moved to this kind of not random, but like this remote island where there only lives like 180 people.
Wow.
They're really young, and they've done this by themselves. And I found that really inspirational. And so when I started my MA in documentary here in London, I kind of just knew that I wanted that to be my project, my last project. So yeah, that's what was the inspiration behind the film.
Oh no, that's fabulous. And I mean, did this started out as a student project?
Yeah, so it's a startup that was founded by Herman, the CEO, and yeah, it kind of just developed as an idea. I think through the entrepreneur school, and then they started doing a lot of they have this test to make sure that like all these ideas that they come up with that they're actually like able to do it, and so you know, he come up with this idea, and then he started pitching. They started making a lot of money to be able to start this, and they got enough funding to, you know, set up the infrastructure in the sea, and they weren't planning on living there, so it's just how it's
evolved.
Evolved.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, this is a very Norwegian story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's internationally, it's so important, isn't it?
Yeah, I think kelp farming is it can be used for so many different things. I'm not an expert on this, but it can be used in like food, fuel, and it's used in a lot of cosmetic products as well. And kelp farming is a sustainable way of using this, and it's it's a very sustainable way of doing it, and what they're also doing is making a sustainable way of they're kind of changing up how people are using wild harvested seaweed, which can take out these ecosystems and ruin it for the fish. And
yeah, because that was one of the things that really stood out, because you look at kelp products and wild kelp sounds brilliant, but then to discover that.
But when you take out these mass amounts of kelp, and you take out, the areas where the fish lives and where they, breed, and it really impacts the ecosystem. So, and we have vast amounts of ocean, and you don't take up any land, you don't take up any water to farm kelp. So it's a very sustainable way of farming.
Oh, I mean, it's such an important documentary. I mean, how was it, like, how much research did you have to do? How much, because it's very technical as well. I mean, how much of that did you have to learn?
Well, I basically just, talked to them a lot, got to know them. We had meetings. I had to travel up there. We set up meetings, talked about it, what they do. I've done research about them, about kelp farming, just try to get my head around like what they were doing, and especially like for my shoot, because I was alone, I kind of had to manage everything by myself, and the journey and bringing up equipment. So it was very like minimal, and how can I manage that in this remote place where I probably won't be able to buy things or rent things if I need them. Like I need to have everything set, and if something goes wrong, like it's going to be challenging if something were to go wrong.
So I'm going to just bring you back on what you just said there, because you did this alone.
Yeah. Obviously, like it was I wanted it to be low budget, and I couldn't find anyone to bring along with me to this remote island in northern Norway. So I had to do it by myself. So it was just me, the camera, and some sound equipment. And
I'm blown away by that, because it looks like, the quality of it and the shots and everything you've got there. It looks like you've got a massive crew. I just assumed you had a huge crew.
No, it was me. And a lot of time I set up to have extra time to be there. So I was living there for, I think 14 days in total.
Right.
So I was staying there with them, so I could like follow them around work and shoot extra shots like when they were not working, and then of the environment around. I would just stay up until like midnight, because in northern Norway during the summer they have this midnight sun. So the best shots were actually around midnight.
Oh, wow.
Because the sun never goes down. So some of the best shots that I got were done at midnight, because it was so beautiful because it just doesn't go down.
Wow, the joy of filmmaking.
Yes, I was just sitting there by myself, listening to, just the sounds around me, and then this little fox came on the beach, and it was just beautiful being there to sit there and just take in everything, and it's kind of why I love doing.
That sounds really magical.
Yeah.
And I mean, doing this as well, because obviously you really needed to build their trust, for them to trust you as a filmmaker. How did you find that, and how did you go about doing that?
I think knowing Christopher from before, like we had an initial, we knew each other. And I think just being there with them, and kind of not intruding too much, and also, we had such a great time together. It wasn't just filming. It wasn't just following them around. It was, I would film, and then they would ask me if I would wanted to come barbecue, or if we would go to the beach, or, oh, do you want to come on this hike? So I spent a lot of time with them and got to know them. We sort of, became friends as well. So it's just really nice to be there. And I kind of liked the fact that I was alone, because then they just had me to, we would get to know each other more close, because it was just me and them.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, actually. It's, I suppose having like a lot of people around it could get a bit in the way and things. Whereas with this, you really feel like you're on the journey with it. It's lovely. It's lovely to see.
Yeah.
And have they seen the film?
Yes, they have.
And what do they think of it?
They loved it. So, which is the most important thing for me, because I think that was the scariest part. Like, making this film by myself and having all this responsibility to, I don't know, portray their life, it was just a bit scary. And yeah, having that, you know, responsibility all by yourself was a bit scary. But I'm very happy that they liked it.
Yeah, it's a lot to take on. I mean, you're so brave, and it's just, yeah. I mean, this is the sort of thing. I mean, are you looking at approaching kind of like the local channels and stuff to get it on there?
I would love to. I'm doing like festivals here first, trying, because I think their story is also important, and I think that if more people knew about like kelp farming and what that would do for farmers, like what they're making. So I'm not going to spoil everything that they're doing, but you know, sharing their story and what they're doing. I think if like a lot of people knew about kelp farming and how much that can give to, like, yeah, how much you can use it for, I think that's an important thing to get around. And so I think like this very local story, and me being able to maybe, you know, show it around for other people internationally, I think that would help them, and it obviously will help me as well as a filmmaker.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a really important story, and, you know, it's what a film's supposed to be, isn't it? It's like shining a light on stories that matter.
Yeah, and I also think that it's so important. Like, I feel like one of the things that drove me to the story is that we see a lot of like, it's so important to highlight the negative things that is going around, but I also think it's important to highlight the positive stories. And it's been so much you know, horrible things that happened, you know, COVID, wars and everything, and I kind of just wanted to make a story that was a bit positive and that would kind of, I don't know, inspire people to maybe to get inspired to maybe do something for themselves that can help. And yeah, that's... Yeah.
No, that's lovely though, because I mean that's the absolute potential of it, isn't it? I mean, have you thought about things like schools as well?
I haven't actually, but that is something that I would want to look into.
Yeah, and I mean this needs to be seen by everyone.
Yeah, I want it to be seen by a lot of people, or everyone. Yeah.
Oh, and how important are film festivals to you?
Well, for me, it's probably, you know, everything, because it's my way of, you know, getting into the filmmaking environment society. It's like I haven't, you know, done filmmaking for a very long time. It's only been this year, so for
Which
me...
I can't. You mentioned that to me before, and I was like, no, that can't be true. You can't have made a film like this and only been doing this a year.
I've only done it for a year, so for me, it's you know, it means so much, because it's a way for me to network. It's a way for me to meet new people. It's a way for me to show, you know, what I can do, what I want to make, and
Well, it's brilliant. It really is, and I'm so excited that we're going to be screening this.
Thank you for, you know, choosing my film to be screened.
God, thank you for making it. Thank you. And it's like this, you know, I really hope people watch this and can get inspired, and, you know, can go out and because it is, you're giving some solutions. It's really lovely. It's beautiful. It's positive, and it's got solutions there. It's everything a good film should be.
Thank you.
So make sure you see this. It's called Seas of Change, and it's a really fabulous film.